Well, hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and I'm back for another Walking Dead video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing Clementine's return once again. July 7th is the release of the Clementine comic in Skybound X, and it will feature the return of our beloved protagonist, Clementine. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the newest Skybound panel with Robert Kirkman, where they discussed some things with the comic, and we got some new first look images as well as some info, not just on this comic but the potential future of The Walking Dead and Clementine, whether we could see a return of her even past this comic. All those questions are laid out now. Obviously, they didn't reveal much because the person who made this comic wanted to keep it's very close-knit, quiet. She didn't really want to reveal anything other than what was shown, and she's making sure that, obviously, we're not going to know anything, really, before we go into the July 7th release. So I'm going to showcase everything for y'all. We're going to first play the live stream. I'll throw a link to this down in the description where you can rewatch it and see it for yourselves, and then we're going to discuss everything after. Let's go for 1,000 likes on this video. Be sure to turn on all post notifications, subscribe if you do enjoy this, and let me know what you guys think of this. Obviously, I told you guys in June we will replay the entire Telltale series to get ready, and we'll be going through the comic on the channel and some other things. So, hope you guys do enjoy this video, and let's get straight into it.
But anyway, let's start just talking about the individual stories. Tilly, let's start with you. So you're the first person to bring Clementine, one of the most popular Walking Dead characters ever, life in a short story. So how did that come together? And I have to imagine there's just a little bit of pressure, just a little bit. People kind of like her. So what is that responsibility like?
There's some pressure. There's pressure, but luckily, now that I've played all the games multiple times, I also am like an extreme fan of Clementine, and I would also hurt someone who hurts her. So I sort of identify now with the people who take her story so seriously. But how it came about was it similar to Skybound X, just kind of landed in my inbox one day, where there was some questions about Clementine and some questions about her future. And of course, that led me to playing all the games and becoming a huge fan and really thinking about, like, is this something that I can do? Is this something I can handle? This is it's a project unlike anything I've ever done before. But I ultimately came to the decision that I love her and I feel like I can do my best for her. So I hope that I'm coming from a good place. But yeah, as a project, how it actually came together, I'm not going to say too much because I'm definitely going to give something away if I keep talking. But all in all, there's a ton of pressure working with Clementine, but it's mostly just a ton of fun because there's a reason she's everyone's favorite, and there's a reason she deserves to be in more stories. And I'm just honored that I get to be a part of it. And also, it's like I'm working with Clementine, but also there's a lot of other people who have had relationships with her for a long time on board and a part of this too. So it's a team effort, I think, bringing Clementine back.
Awesome. Now, before I, ask you another question about Clementine, maybe we can get some teases here. We actually have some images that I want to get thrown up on the screen here. I think we got 2 pages from your story that we get to show for the very first time. There we go. Boom. Look at that.
Whoa.
All right. Look at that.
Nice.
Holy Who's that?
Yeah. Can you tell us anything about what we're looking at? Yay or nay?
I'm not going to tell you anything, but I will say that if you played the games and then you read this story, you're going to understand some things.
Okay. All right. Well, this kind of transitions me. Oh, here we go. We got another one here. Okay. What about this? I'm assuming nothing. Nada. Can't say a dang thing.
All
She's
I can
smiling.
say is I hope the best for her. She's smiling. Clementine doesn't smile that much. Yeah. No, my lips must stay sealed. But if I turned my camera around and you saw the rest of my office, a lot of spoilers. So the camera is staying right here, and no one can see beyond it because you would all figure everything out.
Okay, so this is the last thing I'll try to pull out of you. It's the last thing, I promise. So obviously, this is a major moment for Walking Dead fans. But can you, tease me? Is this your only story you're doing with her? Is it possibly in the future you might get a second story with her? Are you going to revisit Clementine? Yeah or nay? I don't know.
What do you think?
Honestly, I know you're not going to say anything. I'm just trying to see if we could read your facial expressions.
Just, hang in there.
All right. Well, awesome.
It's less likely after all those comments that made me feel old. I'll say that.
Well,
Damn
there you go. There's our boom, confirmed, but not confirmed by the man himself, right?
So, the creator of the Clementine comic goes by the name Tilly Walden. This was from the Skybound Expo panel. I'll throw a link to this down in the description. I think it's around the halfway point where they talk about this, and it's about 15 minutes. But the whole Clementine section, that was it that I just played there. And Tilly Walden is going to create this Clementine comic. I'm not certain how long it is. I'm pretty sure 30, 40-ish pages, maybe 20, depending. But we did finally get a first look, other than the initial covers we've gotten, into this comic book. We at least got 2 pages, and this does confirm some stuff with the story. So firstly, let me talk about some stuff before we go through the images. This comic book is canon. That is confirmed. We'll probably discuss that in another video completely what this means for the story, but she basically ended up saying this comic book is canon, that everything in the game was meant to be her childhood and her coming of age, and this will continue that. And I know people are going to be really worried about this. What does this potentially mean for choices and all that? If she does throw out a specific thing, does that mean all the choices are erased? I mean, if you're a big fan of the games and you really don't give a damn about the comics, you really can just say, oh, well, I don't really care about the comics. You know, my canon story ended when the game ended, when Take Us Back, you know, the credits rolled and all that. But, you know, we'll see what she does. Obviously, there's a lot of determinancies with Telltale Walking Dead, and I don't know if she's going to touch it. That's what we're going to discuss in our video. So, nextly, I want to discuss is, will there be more after this comic? And it turns out, in all likeliness, there is going to be more Clementine comics / even maybe potential game down the line. The way she was saying it, maybe she's like, huh, so that was Lily asked, oh, do you have more Clementine comics planned? She's like, you'll just have to wait and see. And then Robert Kirkman made a funny comment basically saying, not after all those comments that made me feel old. So, you know, we don't know right now. There's a lot of possibilities, and I'm gonna say this, you know, my boy Smack and Pie ended up making a video and I watched it, so he kind of made a good comment here. So, if you guys really do want to see potentially more Clementine, I'd recommend you do something like Smack said. And that was the fact that buy the comic. If the popularity of this comic is high and the sales go well, I could see them doing more. So if you want to see more Clementine, potentially, maybe even a game one day down the line once again, I would buy this comic. It is $5. It's on all comic book stores. If you have a comic book store near your house, July 7th. And I believe it's also, where else were they? In digital stores like Kindle, iTunes, etc., where you could buy those. So, obviously, you know, we'll have more details in the coming days and months, but please go buy it if you'd like to see more Walking Dead. So initially we have Erickson's boarding school, the return of it. Once again, we get to see a picture of Clementine sleeping, I think, in her old room with someone else in the other bed. I don't know if that's a person or just an empty bed. Now, we don't see any other characters in this, but it looks like Clementine is making a return to Erickson. Like, it's been a while since something initially happened. And we get to see a lot of the old rooms. Even Erickson itself looks a little, you know, disheveled a teeny bit, but the fact of the matter is Clementine makes her return, and as I said in the last returning locations video, Erickson does as well, which is awesome. So, we finally figure out what happened to Clementine's leg. So initially at the end of the final season, there were discussions about the foot book, you know, and we ended up finally getting an answer. Clementine has a peg leg on, remember, her foot that got chopped off at the end of Take Us Back. And she's finally got the answer, the peg leg. And it seems like she's still not really comfortable walking entirely, but she's still got to have the crutches and everything. But it looks like she's reminiscing here. You know, she's coming down the frickin' steps, and she sees all the clothing and stuff, and it looks dirty and all this. And she's like, damn, it's been a while since I've been here. All the boarding school windows seem like boarded up just as before. And she's like, wow, it's been a long time. And the final shot sees us with her walking away with her knife, her iconic knife, on the side of her waist. So let's move on to the next page. So we finally get a look at Clementine's face as well a little more, and it doesn't look bad. Obviously people are going to have their complaints and stuff, but you know, I think it's all right. Her look and everything, it's not going to be perfect. It's a comic book. We finally get a full look body image of her, and we finally get to see that peg leg, and it's crazy to finally see something, you know, on that missing foot and everything. It's still hard to get used to that. And, you know, see her leaving Erickson. She's leaving it, which is really interesting to me. You know, it's like nobody's there and she's just walking away. And where is she going? She's with a peg leg. Like, how is Clementine able to survive, like, on her own? A lot of people were like, why is she going off on her own if she only got one foot? Like, And you end up seeing her walk into the woods. She's gone. There you go. So now the intrigue goes into where is she going? Why is she leaving Erickson? Especially when she's only got one usable foot. Hasn't been enough time to where Clementine's learned to, fight with this one foot. But there you go. That's all we really got. And it kind of just explains the story that Clementine comes back to Erickson. She goes off somewhere. Maybe this is the caravan that was referenced at the end of Take Us Back. Maybe she's going somewhere else. But as I said in the old locations video, there's possibilities here. Who she could run into, who she could be with. Now that it's canon, there's a lot of possibilities, what could happen. So, one more thing I did notice after I did this recording where I went through everything is that Disco Broccoli and Clem's hat are seen in this comic. So let me show you guys the image really quick. So if you see on the image right there, there's Disco Broccoli, there's a picture, as well as you see, looks like to be a D hat on the far left there. So I believe that is Clementine's hat, or at least it's something similar to that, but it's cool to see that, the comic book creator here has taken reference to the game, has not forgotten some of the things like Disco Broccoli and Clem's hat. Alright, so I've pretty much gone through everything I possibly could go through in this. We're probably going to have another video talking about the potential story and potentially other things. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll probably have another one in a couple days discussing some other things. But it's been a while since I uploaded, so I hope you guys did enjoy this. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Let's go for 1,000 likes. And please be sure to turn on all post notifications so you do not miss a video. We'll be playing through The Walking Dead again next month. Remember, as we get ready for Skybound X #1 releasing on July 7th. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.